Now, anybody that watches my channel at all knows I just put out a video not too long ago about installation of the AEM AFR gauge in my 74 Plymouth Duster. The installation went really well. I had to pull the passenger side header off, which wasn't that big of a deal. That's all detailed out in that previous video. But what did happen when I powered up the gauge, and I'll show you just the part number of the gauge and all that business here. But I powered up the gauge and instantly it showed that I had a bad sensor. It read dead lean immediately, which I know was not the case. So I started working from there. I did, well, for what it's worth, I did a significant amount of internet research. I found some really interesting stuff, but I'm never really one to just blindly believe. So I've spent a little bit of money. I've learned a few things, and I'm just gonna make a little video explaining to you what I figured out and what I had to do to make this thing work. Sounds like something that's interesting to you? Stick around. Now this is the kit. I guess I could have done an unboxing video, but those are kind of dumb. So I didn't. I didn't think of it either. But anyway, this here is the gauge that I'm going to use. It comes with a weld-in bung, wiring harness, another wiring harness, O2 sensor, and an alternate face, I guess, if you want a white face. But you know what, whatever. That doesn't really... I'm more interested in what it reads and how it looks, to be perfectly honest with you. Would you look at that? I got a crap O2 sensor with my new AEM AFR kit. That kind of stinks. So after finding out that I had the bum AFR or O2 sensor, I decided just to go to local speed shop guy and pick up the spare sensor. It ended up first time around I got the wrong one. Fortunately, Ray was able to let me return it. Super good of him to do that. Not everybody would. And anyway, I got the 30-2004, which is the LSU 4.9. And that's the one that I needed for this kit. And I think that's the one that you need for basically any kit that you purchase now. They used to sell them with a LSU 4.2, but that's 30-2001. And that's the one I originally got. The plug is different. I don't know what else is different, but anyway, 30-2004, that's the one you want for any gauge you're going to be buying these days. But let's just switch it out and see what happens. Now let's see with a new sensor if this thing's going to work this time. It's all over the place, but it looks like it's working. So at that point, I actually thought I had the system fixed. I was super happy, got a couple of things done, put everything back together and went for a test drive. Now, unfortunately, the gauge ran and read, and you could see, it could sense that it richened up when you just gave it a little shot of the the accelerator pump, and like it appeared. I mean, I've never even seen an AFR gauge in operation, but it appeared to be doing what I expected that it would do. Now, the bad part is it only lasted about 15 or 20 minutes and it went dead lean again. And it doesn't matter what I do, it just reads dead lean. So, what do you do from here? Got back on the old Google machine and started looking up AEM AFR gauge problems. Found a little more stuff than I found previously. And one suggestion that I found was, I don't know if it's true, but there's a possibility that AEM might be sourcing their O2 sensors offshore, possibly. Chances are the whole shit thing is sourced offshore, but whatever. Anyway, the suggestion that I got from this fellow online was to go with a correct Bosch part number O2 gauge. So that's what I did. This is the Bosch part number that I found for the replacement O2 sensor for this gauge. Now, just to identify some of the differences between the two gauges, physical appearance, they look identical, except the Bosch is identified with some nice laser etching on the side of it. LSU 4.9, part number, blah, blah, blah. And just to hold it, the quality of the wire is nice and supple, and you know, it feels good in your hand. You know how it is when you take something quality made, in this case American USA assembled, it says assembled in the USA. I mean, I'm sure the parts get sourced from all over hell's creation, but at least it was assembled there. Now this one is actually the original AEM part that came with the gauge, and the replacement part is identical to it. I haven't pulled it out at the time that I'm just recording this, but outwardly it appears exactly the same. It does not have the Bosch marking on it, and I don't know, it doesn't feel as heavy. The wire doesn't feel as nice. It's just maybe it's just a cheap copy. I don't know. Try and be open-minded with stuff like that, but man, who knows? Maybe not. We'll see. So to start with, we'll just power this thing up and see if it makes that same problem and going dead lean again. Let's see what happens. According to everything that I'm told, no, look at that. That's still not the problem. That's more reasonable than it looked before. I guess we're gonna have to take it for a test drive and go from there. I mean, as far as how rich it is at idle, whatever, I don't care. At least if I know I've got someplace to start, I just hope that this is maybe a reading that I can count on for a while. Cross my fingers and hope for the best. So I guess I better take it out on the road. I'm not going to do that anymore tonight, but as soon as I get a chance, I'll take it for a drive, see what it says. Hopefully it lasts longer than 15 minutes like the last one. But we're going to give her a whirl And you know what? I'm cautiously optimistic that we're gonna have something work out here. Wish me luck. Well, after driving it, it's off. It's definitely the gauge itself with that Bosch sensor is working amazingly well. It looks like I'm right where I want to be at just cruise, like 60, 70 miles an hour. I'm running just on my main jets with no power valve enrichment, which is good. It's running like 14 and a half to 15, which as far as I know is just meant for cruise. I will say though, when you go to put the power to it, it's like 10 and a half, 10, maybe up to 11. So it's definitely rich when you're putting your foot in it. So I'm gonna mess around, go from there. I'm gonna call this installation done. And as far as I know, the gauge is working well. If I had something to suggest to somebody that might want to purchase one of these AEM gauges, I'm pretty sure you can order it without the sensor. I think you can just order it with the gauge and cables, and that's what I would recommend. Um, if it saves you anything at all, I don't think the sensors they're sending are worth a damn. Chances of me getting two bad ones, maybe, not impossible. But if you get one of these gauges, I think they're great. Like visually, the information they provide is just at a glance easy to see. And you know what? Other than the sending unit deal, I'm pretty happy with it. So don't be scared of the AEM. Just be prepared that you may have sensor issues. Maybe it was just a bad small batch of them. I don't know. I can't say. Maybe the ones they're putting out now are good. Either way, you know the experience I had with them. And I'm going to carry on and I'm going to start learning from mine and using it as a tool that it is. Maybe you're able to save yourself some money on the money that I pissed away on it. I'm going to try and get some money back at least for the second sensor that I bought, but we'll see. If I don't, I don't. I've been spent more money on less, so I guess we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching.